Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Lynch Paints, and in this episode it's going to be a really fun episode. So I believe I've unlocked the secret formula of how to create invisible miniatures. It's absolutely insane. It's worked, and I can't wait to show you guys. So let's grab our paints and paintbrushes and let's dive straight into it. So before we get started, we're going to need a selection of paints and also other materials. So these are the paints that are used for the basing at the end of the video. But what we're going to need is we're going to need the secret formula. So that's going to be a bottle of Evian, a bottle of good old Highland Spring, a bottle of Smart Water, and a bottle of Ursu alkaline mineral water. Alongside which we are going to need a medium-sized brush. We're going to need a finer detail brush, a small fluffy brush, and a teeny tiny brush for those teeny tiny places. So with our first step, we're not going to base coat it because we don't want to add any further impurities to this model. So we want it to be as clear as possible so we can maximise the result of it becoming a invisible clear resin as best we can. So we won't be using any paints, but what we will use is we're just going to start out with some of this Evian or water, natural mineral water, and we're going to use a medium-sized brush. Just want a nice amount on here, and I'm just going to start just going all over the model. So now our Evian mineral water has dried, we are now going to move over to this Highland Spring water. So I'm going to get a fine detail brush. I'm just going to wipe up some of the excess just on here. And then we're just going to highlight the areas. We're going to do the cloth and also the skin at the same time as well, just to speed things along. And we're just going to leave the recesses of the Evian underneath, just to help to build up some of the layers. So while that layer is still a little bit wet, we are going to introduce some Ursu natural mineral water. Now this is really good because it has a lot of alkaline. It's very alkaline based. So that's going to really help with the transparency that we're going to try to achieve later on. So just going to use the same brush again, and we're just going to weather in and sort of wash into all the recesses, just to make the Highland Spring water just stand out just that little bit more. Cool, so that took a little while to dry off, but now we're ready for one of the next steps. So we're going to want to have some Smart Water, and what we're going to do, because there's a lot of extra minerals and vitamins within this Smart Water that's going to really help with turning the sky invisible. So also as well, the reason why that I haven't applied it onto a base yet is because of course I don't want the base to turn invisible, so I'm going to do a separate for now, and we're going to want a bit of a 50-50 mix of Smart Water with the Highland Spring. Now it's important that the steps prior to this, that you keep your water separate, because you don't want them to mix prematurely, otherwise it's just not going to work. So we'll start out with just highlighting as best we can, just going back over the top, because that Ursu has done really well with just blending the Highland Spring from before in with the Evian. So just take our time with this, Make sure it's nice and smooth. So Bilbo is very nearly prepared. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to focus on the underside. So we're going to want to just mix a little bit of council pop, which for those of you outside the UK, that's basically just tap water. Going to mix that with a little bit of our Evian. If you're in a hard water area, then I would advise using something more alkaline based, like with the Ursu water, just to kind of help to counterbalance. Or if it is really hard water, very full of some impurities, then I recommend is getting some water, boil it up first, leave it to cool down, and then that should get rid of a lot of the impurities before you start painting. So obviously the less impurities the better, and the better result we're going to get. So now one of the last steps, we're just going to take our smart water and we're just going to apply a nice dry brush just over the top of the miniature. Just need to wipe a little bit more off. There, we don't want too much. There we go. I'm just going to give it a nice gentle, oh that's a bit too much, going to have to rework that in a bit. And yeah, just a nice gentle highlight just over the top, just to really help to make it stand out at the end. So Bilbo is very nearly ready, he's nearly at the end of his journey. Now, the next step is quite crucial, so we're going to want a small ceramic bowl. Now, I've tried it before with plastic, with Tupperware, with terracotta. It just doesn't work. For some reason, the elements within the plastic and also in the terracotta, it doesn't work, it doesn't give the same result as what we're going for. And I've tried it before on a couple of models and it's just failed miserably, and it just haven't worked. So you want to get yourself a nice ceramic bowl, and what we're going to do is that we're going to take our Ursu, and we're going to want probably 3 parts Ursu, probably 1 part smart water, two of Highland Spring, and just 1 part of Evian. So don't want any council pop in this or any tap water. That was mainly just for the shadowing underneath. So I'm just going to take him here. Just going to remove that. And you want to wash your hands, obviously, like before you paint and throughout when you're painting, because you don't want any impurities on your hands to end up in this mixture. So I'm just going to carefully just plop them in there. Cool, so it's floated at the bottom nicely there. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to wait for a full moon, which thankfully is tonight. We're going to wait for night to occur. Hopefully the clouds clear, and we'll set him outside, and then hopefully come the morn he should be invisible. So let's pop him outside and let's see what happens. Okay, it is now night time. So check the report and it should be a full moon. It should be clear skies. Well, I mean, it's a bit grey at the minute, but it should be clear skies later on at night. So yeah, here's hoping. So let's sit this down here in prime position for some full moonlight action. And then hopefully at the end of this, we should have the water dissolve and there to be a crystallized solution at the end. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have a clear, invisible model. So wish it luck. And yeah, let's check again in the morning. All right, so it's now the next morning and it seems to have worked. So if it has worked, the water should crystallize like this. And what we're going to do, we're just going to clean the model off, and then, oh, do you know what? I think it really actually worked. So we'll clean it up. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it worked. If it hasn't worked, and if your water hasn't crystallized like this, then what I'd recommend doing is just leaving it out for another night and just hope that the full moon continues its magic to sort of evaporate and do its work. And you should have this crystallized form at the end of it, and your model should be near enough invisible. So let's going to clean this off, and yeah, we'll just have a closer look at it. So I've cleaned off our Bilbo, and what a result! It worked. It's absolutely fantastic. So it has worked once or twice with another couple of miniatures that I've tried this out on, but this is the best so far. So I have been experimenting with the different types of mineral waters you can buy, and I find that the Buxton isn't very good. It's very streaky. What was the other one? There was another one, another spa town in the UK that I tried. Harrogate, that was it. And Harrogate, it sort of reflected the light too much and almost made it sort of pretty much white. So that was no good. And beforehand I used a lot of the tap or council pot water, and again that just kind of made it quite brown and yeah, it's really quite sludgy, so it didn't really work very well. But it looks like I've found the right sort of formula. So we're going to get this guy onto a base. I don't know how well you can see this guy. Obviously, he's invisible. So hopefully you can actually see a model rather than just seeing my empty hands just kind of twizzle around sort of thing. So I had to put a filter over the camera just so I can try and pick it up, because from what I can see, like from my eyes, I can't see anything. So hopefully you guys can actually see on the video when it's all kind of done and edited. I might put another filter over the top just to try and enhance it, just so it doesn't look like a weird blur. So I'm going to do the base, and I'm thinking sort of just a nice simple slightly rubbly base with a couple of sticky grassy tufts on the top. So I'm going to do that, and yeah, I'll be back in a mo. So here we are at the end of the video, and what a video it's been. It worked absolutely perfectly, that right amount of different water ratios. It just absolutely came through in the end. So I'm absolutely ecstatic with the result, and I hope everyone else at home is too. So if you've really enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Tell me if you've tried this method before, what kind of different mineral waters you've tried. I've heard that some people have even sort of resulted into using various crystals as well, and that kind of hippy dippy stuff, which you can use. Depends on the size of the model, I suppose. Some people have used it on like Space Marines and like bigger models, and it has worked with them. So yeah, let me know which part was your favourite, which part you might have done perhaps differently. If you've done this before and had great success, please let me know. I'd like to exchange sort of recipes of this with you. And if you're new as well, a subscribe will be massively appreciated as always. There'll be stills and reels of this miniature over at my Instagram page at Lynch Paints as well. Luckily, I was able to find a suitable filter at the top to actually make this model appear on camera, because obviously it was invisible, but now it looks like, looking at the video feedback, it is visible, so that's an absolute bonus. If you wanted to Well, I suppose you can't really pick this model up because it's invisible. You can't see where it is, apart from the base. But if you're into Lord of the Rings and that sort of stuff, then do check out my affiliate link for Wayland Games down in the description below. They're a UK-based retailer, and they sell all kinds of amazing and wonderful miniatures and board games, card games, and anything that you like. It's over there. And if you use the link below, a little bit goes towards me and helps supporting the channel. So again, massively appreciated. And yeah, so I suppose that does it for today. Wow. So thank you ever so much for watching. Happy April Fool's Day. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and we'll see you next time.